right, cut it out. Please stop. Please stop. I haven't earned it. I haven't earned it yet. Let me earn it. Let me earn it. Welcome to Friday Night with Uncle Henry. Tonight, an incredible program, we hope. We're welcoming someone who can actually read and write to the program. It's a big deal for many of us. Our special guest tonight on the program. See, I'm already having a clicker issue. Yes, we are live. This program originating in downtown Mobile from the Container Yard. And it's chaos in downtown Mobile because it's Art Walk. And all of the people that like to pretend that they're artsy have driven down here. They're going to walk around, look at art, and then drink to excess. Our special guest tonight on the program is from Alabama Media Group, John Sharp. Our musical guest, strangely, is Sock Cop. Never expected that, but that's our musical guest, Sock Cop. Musical guest presented by Callahan's. Cold beer, hot meat, tasty tunes. See him in Oakley. We love Callahan's. And also by PICKER'S Paradise in Stapleton, Alabama. Now, before we get to any of the insightful conversation with John Sharp and the bizarre performance by Sock Cop, we have a few updates for you. First of all, the way the show is brought to you. We can't go out and get advertisers. We depend on your donations to keep the show going. If you want to keep this show going, if you want future programs that start in an awkward way, you're going to need to donate cash. We'd like to thank the people that have already donated. That's the support team, executive producers and associate producers. New executive producers this week, Becky Lockwood and Jerome Lockwood. Thank you. Also, Doug Faust, thank you. Ben Shorty G. Griffin, Rick Henry, Mr. and Mrs. Pickles, Ron Reams, Jeffrey Wimmer, Wendy Jen, Dan Thompson, Bamba Big Man, Mrs. Bamba Big Man, Reagan Girl, Snake Trapper, Bridget Jerkins of Royal Barber. She is here tonight, and everyone's noticed. John Aiken, Dorothy Doc Clayton, Cheryl Gwynn, Frida Schnitzer and Alan Cario, Carmen Brown, Matt Bighead Green, Hank Eubanks of Hank's Fireworks, Wendy Lynn Norris, Aunt Karen Simmons. Thank you, Aunt Karen. Thank you for your support. Tracy Moscalo, thank you. Richard Harvey, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's how we keep doing the program with your donations. Now, you go to PayPal, look for Deep Fried Live on PayPal, please. Also go to Venmo.com and look for Deep Fried Live. That's how we have the show continue. Now, before we go any further, a crypto update. Johnny Gwynn has taken a small portion of the donations and invested them in the bizarre cryptocurrency. Now, I was on the fence about this, but last week, Elizabeth Warren, Senator Elizabeth Warren said cryptocurrencies, the servers, the computer servers use a lot of computing power. She claims that cryptocurrency like Bitcoin is contributing to global warming.
Yeah. That's why you know it's awesome.
So keep on donating.
Yep.
Keep on investing, Johnny Gwynn, in cryptocurrency. So Johnny Gwynn of JohnnyGwynn2024.com, what is the update on cryptocurrency?
As of 420 today, poopy. We're not doing very well. Very poopy.
It's that bad that it's only
bad.
an emoji of defecation?
I'm not. And
that's all it is an emoji of defecation?
And it's frowny, not smiley. That's how bad it is. Or it could be an Uncle Henry mustache. Just saying.
What now? Come on.
Take a look at it.
All right, we'll go back to the
See,
graphic.
there's the mustache. See it? See?
Ice cream.
All right, all right, look. So we're not doing good with crypto.
Not doing well.
When is crypto going to bounce back?
Hopefully very, very soon for all you kids and boys and girls out there.
All right, well,
Yes.
we hope so, because if it bounces back effectively enough, we'll never do another show.
Correct.
All right, now, also, pothole of the week.
Yes, pothole of the week.
Now, I was sent a message, an email from a listener alerting me that there was a new pothole that was on Mont-Lamar near Cottage Hill Road, and where Malfunction Junction used to be for the old-timers of Mobile. But that pothole, as epic as it is, it's too busy there on Mont-Lamar at Cottage Hill. There was no way I could not run into traffic and take pictures of potholes without risking my lives. Because you know how you are. Fred Richardson told us that half of all drivers in Mobile are smoking dope, and then all the other people are on their smartphones. So I was not going to walk out into Mont-Lamar and get hit by your car. But instead, I did find, this is on Mont-Lamar at Pleasant Valley. Mm-hmm. So there is a pothole that it looks like part of the street tried to reclaim it or something. I don't know what was going on. But this is one of the many potholes on one of Mobile's busiest streets, Mont-Lamar. Shame on the city of Mobile for allowing these potholes to flourish. You're letting them flourish, Standy Simpson. You need to fill these before we vote. Please send your photos of potholes for Pothole of the Week to unclehenry@gmail.com. That's unclehenry@gmail.com. Now.
Oh, yes.
It is time. Yes? Oh, it's time for a segment that I don't understand. Johnny Gwynn, have a seat. Is Johnny Gwynn mic'd up adequately?
Yes, I'm on. I'm on.
Can you explain what this is?
Go back one. So last week, Leanna brought her Uncle Henry doll. It caused a lot of ruckus in the
It doesn't look anything like me. Look at it. It doesn't look anything like me at all.
It's a resemblance, I will say.
Not very close resemblance
And there was a lot
at all.
And in the private group, which is chums of Friday Night with Uncle Henry, we had a conversation of, I think it looks like, some people said, no, it doesn't. Most people said it does resemble you. And then...
Most people don't say that, but
yes,
anyway.
But other pictures started popping up of what may or may not look like Uncle Henry. So I want to share a couple of them that I thought were pretty good. So this is Mr. Pickles. I think, I can't remember who this is. This one maybe, but that's pretty close. John Bolton. You do have a John Bolton-ish look to you?
John Bolton looks like me if I went on a diet.
I think it's Mark Twain, by the way. This is Mark Twain.
Okay.
All right, next one. Tracy Muscalo, which, of course, we've talked about. This is Captain Kangaroo.
Okay.
This is some Uncle Anime, something or other over here,
Okay.
which I thought was interesting.
I don't really think any of it looks like me so far.
Come on, it looks like you.
Not at all.
Next one. Now that does. Come on, that
doesn't look like me at all. That's a thin young guy with no mustache.
In a vibe, that is very much you.
It does not look like me at all.
Yeah, I think it does. And then, okay, this is Wendy Ginn's actual stepfather, who does resemble you very much.
You know what? I'll go with that. In fact, I wish I looked that vigorous.
Yeah.
This guy obviously has a better life than I do.
And thank you, Wendy Ginn, for sharing something so. Okay, and this is Ben Shorty G. This is what he and the cats. I'm sorry.
Why do you think it's funny that I'm being mocked?
Because it does.
This isn't funny. I don't look like a cat. I don't look like a cat.
You kind of look.
No, I don't. I don't look like a cat.
But the coup de grace is the next one. Like that looks like you.
It does not. What is wrong with that guy?
I think that's a fish. Look at the slobber, like booger or something over here.
All right, look, I know. Look, I realize that I'm not an attractive person. But I don't have stuff coming out of my mouth like that. I don't.
When you get really angry, though, you start
sick.
to spit. Spittle does kind of.
I don't look like that.
Well, I encourage conversation in the private group. The private group is Chums of Friday Night with Uncle Henry. It was a very lively conversation. I appreciate that. If you would like to send a picture that you think looks like Uncle Henry, send it to me at johnny@johnnygwynn.com, and we will have more Unc or Not picks in the future.
All right, Johnny Gwynn. That is a terrible segment of Friday Night with Uncle Henry. All right, and I guess there's pent-up resentment toward me. If that, there must, I guess that's a safety valve, a little release of the steam to make sure that the viewers don't blow. Is that it?
Maybe, but I like that anyone talks about the show. I will take whatever we can get.
All right, I do agree with that.
Yeah.
All right, we're about to bring out John Sharp of Alabama Media Group. He also writes for the newspaper, I think it's called the Mobile Register. I don't know. Is it called the Register? Press Register. The Press Register, the Mobile Press Register. No offense that I haven't seen it lately. Before we bring him out, we have good news and bad news about being a reporter, a newspaper reporter in South Alabama, because there are good things about being a newspaper reporter in South Alabama, and there's bad things about being a newspaper reporter in South Alabama. You have to take the good with the bad. For example, the good is you are mostly anonymous. The bad would be you have to explain to people under the age of 30 what a newspaper is.
Yeah.
The good is readers don't mind grammatical or spelling errors in South Alabama. The bad would be that Alabama's ranked 41st out of 50 for literacy among our states. The good news about being a newspaper reporter in South Alabama would be you're automatically the smartest person in the room when you shop at Dollar General. You're automatically. The bad news is that being a writer doesn't get you the respect you want at Veets. It just doesn't. Good news about being a newspaper reporter in South Alabama is you get a free newspaper included with your salary.
Wow.
Yes. The bad news would be every adult that you meet has to joke with you about using the paper as a fish wrapper.
Yes. Nonstop.
Good news would be you don't have to write a lot of words if you don't want to. It is South Alabama. Bad news is that readers give up on your stories in the second paragraph. They do. I did when he wrote about the bridge earlier this week. Good news would be knowledge of WWE wrestling comes in handy in many social situations because you're writing in South Alabama. Bad news would be that every social situation here deteriorates into an angry rant about fake news. John Sharp, fake news. Good news would be plenty of wasted tax dollars to expose and report on. Bad news would be it's your wasted tax dollars that you're writing about. Good news is you get to be a special guest on Friday Night with Uncle Henry. Bad news would be that you get to be a special guest on Friday Nights with Uncle Henry. Please welcome to Friday Night with Uncle Henry, John Sharp.
Yeah!
Good to see you, John.
Good to see you.
Long time no talk to John Sharp
really,
of AL.com, Alabama Media Group.
It really has been a while, really. And it's good to be back seeing you, Uncle Henry. And we have a little bit of a history. I used to come on the radio show first thing in the morning, and your callers were pretty brutal back in the day. I remember
really?
I might have been the first AL.com reporter to come on your show after the big changes back in 2012. And I'll never forget that first show. The callers, I think they're a little bit tougher than the ones that'll be calling in tonight.
Yes.
But we'll see. I don't know. But they were pretty brutal. And I felt when I left that first show, I felt, yeah, you know what? I did a good job tonight. I withstood this, and I took it, and I came back, and we did several shows over the years. I provided your listeners with updates on what was going on in the community, and really enjoyed my time on the Uncle Henry show. So here we are, totally different medium.
Well, John Sharp, of course I remember you being on the show, but I have no recollection of the shows you just discussed.
Okay.
I don't remember. I don't remember you being savagely attacked by the callers.
Woo, boy, that first one, I'll tell you, I remember, so.
All right. Well, John Sharp, we're going to be talking about you working for, I keep saying AL.com, and Johnny Gwynn says, no, I shouldn't say that. It's Alabama Media Group.
Well,
Okay.
you're both correct. Yeah,
All right.
AL.com, Alabama Media Group.
I go by the LinkedIn bio.
And now what is this? You are a content creator. What does this mean?
Well, I'm a journalist, a content creator, a writer, a reporter, whatever you want to call it. I've been called worse than that too. So, but you know, I am a little bit of all the above. And labels are labels, but I've been a journalist for 21 years now. So I've been in the business. Worked up in Peoria, Illinois for about 10 years, 9 months before I came down here in 2012, and I've been here for what, 9 years now?
Peoria, Illinois.
Yeah, get your map out, Central Illinois. So that's where I was.
All right. Well, see, this is a huge upgrade for you, isn't it?
I guess you could say that.
Well, I did. It is. I mean, this is South Alabama. We've got access.
I had a great experience up there. I really did. I worked with some tremendous journalists up
We
there.
don't
over
want to
the
know
years,
that.
and I know that, but
I don't want to know about that.
Lord.
We don't want to hear about Peoria.
All right. I get it. All right.
All right. Before we go into some of the things you've covered, I'm curious. On a Monday morning, you wake up in the morning. How do you decide what you're going to write about? Do you get an email from Alabama Media Group saying go find something liberal to write about, or how does it work? How do you decide what you're going to write about?
When I wake up on a Monday morning, I'm worried about getting my daughter ready for daycare. That's what I'm worried about. And then I'm worried about getting her fed before daycare.
Right, but what do
I'm
you
worried
have-
about getting her changed and ready for daycare.
How
I
does
don't
it happen?
worry about work until I finally sit down and
How does it happen? How do you decide what you write about?
Well, I mean, I've been doing this for a while, so I kind of know what the news is going on around the community and around the area, and I do a lot of reading, and I sometimes see what really could trigger the community on that particular day.
Wait a minute, you're trying to trigger us?
Click.
Are you really? John Sharp, it's like you've come here wanting to unburden yourself.
No, it really doesn't work that way. But Monday mornings sometimes are like Monday mornings for you. It takes a while to get started, so you got to see what's going on in the community, and just kind of go from there. I mean, there's no secret magic sauce. There's no 11 herbs.
But does
spices,
does a boss say we want you to cover this, or do you decide what you cover?
Sometimes they might say that, but I'm usually, I usually have plenty to do. I mean, there's plenty of news to report down here. And if you follow my byline, you know I'm not sitting around not.
I do.
Research,
I look around at all the stories. I read your stories.
I'm glad. You get past the second paragraph sometimes.
Well, I will give you
To the nut graph, right?
I will give you what I consider a compliment. You
Okay.
may or may not interpret it as one.
Okay.
But when I read your stories, I can't figure out what your opinion is of what you're writing. And I like that. I like the fact that when I read your stories, I have no clue what you personally think about the issue. I just read all the different things. You get lots of comments from different people involved. You let me decide. So I like that.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate that. That's a big compliment. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
I try hard at that. So.
Now, here you are with some of the villains of America. This is you on the villainous CNN. They brought you on as an expert on Roy Moore.
So a little background here. I get kind of a kick out of it. I bet it's the only time a national camera's been on at the Walker Springs Baptist Church in Jackson, Alabama. So, so that is interesting. But I sent a couple of photos in here to just kind of illustrate that I don't mind being on CNN, but I also don't mind being on Fox News. And this is an example of that. This is CNN, and there's Fox News. So, that shows you two sides of the story. And I don't ever...
But the Fox lady looks like she's mad at you.
I don't, yeah, that was about the special election. That got a lot of attention down here.
yeah.
Well, it's
So-
funny, the Roy Moore thing. I did interviews for radio stations around the country that wanted somebody in Alabama to talk about Roy Moore.
Did
So,
you,
yeah.
Did you do a radio show in New Zealand?
No, I did not.
Well, I did. And I got $45 sent in the mail for that, too. Something like I was on there for a couple of minutes, and I get this check in the mail. I didn't even ask for it or anything like that. It wasn't part of the agreement. But they asked for my address, and so I gave it to them, and yeah, I wound up with a check in the mail. I thought,
Wait, is that ethical?
huh?
Is that ethical?
Well, I cut it up after that.
All right, so you have been on Fox and CNN. That does illustrate what I was talking about before, where we can't figure out what your opinion is. Now, this is you.
Yeah.
What's this?
My sister up in the Chicagoland area screenshots this breaking news segment. I don't know if this is CNN or what this is.
At CNN.
Is it CNN?
Yeah.
This is 2013. This is when the Carnival Triumph,
That's the poop ship.
right, it arrived into Mobile. And she, that's me just kind of roaming around the background looking like I'm working. And I thought that was, yeah, photobomb.
Any way to get on the camera at
Right,
all.
right, so.
Here we go.
All right, now, let's talk about this aspect of your reporting.
Looks like he's cheating. Looks like he's cheating on a test.
Yes, he's cheating.
Who are you copying off of?
So this is the great Ben Thomas, a good friend of mine. He's a colleague of mine at AL.com. He has been covering prep sports forever. Good guy. Where we are at that moment is in the press room at the Superdome in New Orleans. And this isn't the Saints. This is at Wrestlemania 30.
Yes.
Oh, did you write the story, Top 5 Moments from WrestleMania?
Oh, that's probably correct, yeah.
Yes, it was.
All right, so let's talk about what happened. There's more headlines.
More headlines.
Nature Boy, HBK, and Stone Cold highlight continuing WrestleMania countdown. This,
Oh, yeah. He was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
and you wrote that story.
Yeah, so he had that local angle going on.
Been immortalized on a skateboard, by the way, which I own.
Where did you find that thing?
At San Jose, at the where they make those decks, the creatures.
All right, so John Sharp, let's talk about your love of professional wrestling.
Yes.
This is the wrestling album, by the way.
Woo!
That's
awesome.
That's a collector's item, I think.
All right, what happened? What happened to you that you became a big fan of professional wrestling?
Well, I grew up in the 1980s.
That's right.
I mean, if you're a boy that grew up in the 1980s, there was only like 4 or 5 channels, and I mean, I'm not going to get into Charlie's Angels or Tarzan. So wrestling at the Chase when I was in I grew up in the St. Louis area. That was the show that was on, and so I was just mesmerized growing up. I mean, before you go off to church, wrestling was on, so that was
Yes.
what we watched on TV, and then. I was, like I said, growing up in the 80s and on NBC, this was before the internet, so you didn't know when a show was going to come on. TV Guide didn't cover it. You didn't have the national newspapers, could have cared less about wrestling. But when you turn on NBC, they'd run a commercial, and it'd be talking about Saturday night's main event, on this week. And that was the only time I was allowed to stay up till midnight. My mom and dad let me stay up till midnight and watch Saturday night's main event. It was on once every 3 or 4 months. I think folks that grew up in that era remember that. And so, yeah, I was just hooked. I mean, I loved it. And growing up as a kid, I'd sit down and write little wrestling programs and stuff. I guess maybe that was my first foray into writing.
Wow.
So, it was just one of those things that I was hooked on, and I enjoyed it. It's theater of the absurd. It's lighthearted television watching. And then when I got into the business, when I started working at the Peoria Journal-Star, I had an entertainment editor, and he'd interview a wrestler or two, and he's just like, well, he found out I knew a thing or two about it, and so every time a show would come to the area, they'd just say, well, Sharp, you go ahead and interview these guys. And so I interviewed all of them. They'd come into Peoria, and I interviewed, the big names of the day, like Ric Flair and
Sweet.
Kurt Angle and Kane, who's now a mayor, I think, in Tennessee. And I mean, all these guys come into town. The one that, and I interviewed before the tragedy, less than a year before the tragedy that happened, I interviewed Chris Benoit. Oh, wow. And I think a lot of people remember that. So, I mean, for years I interviewed all these guys, and so, and the best interview of all of them was George the Animal Steele. I don't know if you guys remember watching it. I mean, he'd grunt and growl and chase after everybody. He couldn't put a word together, right? We had a conversation for about an hour. He was like one of the nicest guys you'd ever talk to. And to this day, I still remember that interview. I mean, I was just like, I was like talking to your grandpa. We were just having a conversation. Wasn't even an interview. I got done. I was told, well, write 15 inches on your interview. And I'm like, oh, I got a book of notes here. I don't know. You know, because he was just a really nice guy in that. And so, yeah, that's kind of how, you know, I've always just been a fan. It's been kind of a nice, you know, something to watch. You know, we sit around and watch it as a family at home some nights, too.
Nice.
So.
All right.
Family wrestling.
All right, now
She's shaking her head back there.
Well, we've done this show. Now, this is the second season of the show. John Sharp, you get the award for the longest answer.
Yeah.
You get the award for the longest damn answer to any question.
He's a man of letters.
You did not nod off.
I
So.
almost went to Fusaklis and came back. Oh, that was a good answer.
Well, my 8th grade teacher told me brevity, Sharp, brevity. You got Mr. Sharp.
All right, well, brevity, Sharp.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Cut it off.
All right, so look, you met all the famous
My
wrestlers.
stories are a little long, too.
Did you ever meet Hulk Hogan?
Yes.
All right.
Not personally, but...
What do you mean not personally?
So let's take it back to WrestleMania 30 real quick. Ben and I are sitting there in this was the press conference at WrestleMania 30. He gets up there and takes about 4 or 5 questions, and I'm sitting like from here to the front row of your audience here from him, and he's all shaking and all this other stuff, and asks about 3 or 4 questions, and off he goes. And they brought out John Cena, and he answered all our questions. He was really good. And so the start of WrestleMania 30, Hulk Hogan goes out and says, you know, he's all amped up, and he's just like, it's great to be here. And there's like 80,000 people out there. It's great to be here in the Pontiac Silverdome. And everybody starts booing. He gets all flustered. I meant the Superdome. Later, he comes back and says, well, it was that press conference. They were asking me all about Andre the Giant and this, and I was, he's, you know, shaking and all this other. He got all nervous from going out in the press conference, I guess, which I was at and Ben was at. I guess we were firing away tough questions at him. It only took like 3 or 4 of them, but yeah, he got all shook up. So.
Cocaine.
All right,
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
So you might get a bunch of wrestling fans tweeting at you here about this, but
okay.
Good.
Well, that would be fun.
Tweet away.
Now, so did you get a chance to get to know Paul Bearer?
No, I did not, and I did not. No.
Okay, all right. Well, now what is this?
Yeah.
Is this you?
You want a long story? Yeah, that's me.
What do you do? You're a ref?
This is a fantastic story.
All right. When was this?
So this was, I think, in 2000 and... Shoot, my wife was 8 months pregnant. So
It wasn't that long ago. This was after you and I met?
Yeah.
You were a ref after we met?
Yeah.
All right. Can you condense your story for our broadcast?
Well, so this show wasn't supposed to happen in this building. This is the funniest part of it.
All right. Where was this?
This is in some sort of Baptist church.
Where? Where?
That's the thing. I don't know. It's right next to Theodore High School. There's
All right. So it's in Theodore, Alabama.
In Theodore, yes.
All right.
So at a church, in a hall. It wasn't supposed to be held here. It was supposed to be held at Theodore High School.
Are these local wrestlers?
Yeah, Donk. Donk the Clown.
That is the late Dwayne Henderson. Yeah,
Donk,
he was Doink the Clown.
Doink, yeah.
Doink the Clown.
He's since passed away. Great guy. And that's the boogeyman. Yeah, he knows.
All right,
yeah.
so what happened?
So what happened is that some sort of church elder comes into this building about, the show was set up, impressive by Doink. Dwayne handled the whole show. He moved it from, it was supposed to be held at Theodore High School to this church. He got permission, throws up the ring, everything. We have the show. Some church elder comes in and shuts the lights off and screaming, hollering the devil and all this other stuff. turns the lights on, and I'm back there, and I'm like, well, the show's over. And Dwayne says, you got to run out there. We're going to run this show. We're going to run our match real quick. And I go, okay. I go out there, and so the match was supposed to be where Boogeyman wasn't supposed to win. There was supposed to be a disqualification. He was pissed off. He wasn't happy because this wasn't how the show was supposed to go. So we call it, and we've kind of called it the screw job in Theodore.
Nice.
So I got down. I counted 3. I didn't want anything to do with this guy being mad. Match was over with. The church elder's going nuts. Boogeyman, his whole shtick is take a thing of real live worms, put them in his mouth, spit them.
Yes.
And he did it on the church floor. Yeah.
Woo! All right, so you had a wrestler go rogue. He got angry and the fight went out of control.
The screw job. Fantastic.
All right, so that happened to me as well.
Yeah.
Years ago.
Downtown Adrian Street, right?
No, this was I was asked to be a manager of a wrestler at a match at Baker High School years ago. In the locker room, the school locker room, the gym locker room, they told us all before how the match was supposed to end.
Right. Guys, y'all are dropping the MacGuffin. You're not supposed to say that stuff.
I was supposed to. They were going to give me a signal that I was going to hit somebody with a suitcase I was carrying, and then the match was going to be over. So the match started, and Mike the Hippie Boyette got very angry, as you said. Yes. Only you used foul language. But Mike the Hippie Boyette got mad and started really fighting, and we had to end the match just like you did. Where some guy ran up to me and says, he's really fighting, end the match. So it was the same thing.
Really? Well,
no worms, though.
No worms. But the hippie was a legend around here, yes.
Yes.
Right, now, and is this, now...
I wanted a close-up shot of him refereeing.
All right, there's you refereeing, and what is this? You,
like a general manager. That was out at the Golden Corral and off of Schillinger's Road.
Yes. It's a fine wrestling establishment.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, yeah.
Fine wrestling establishment.
Yeah. And I met the Honky Tonk Man was a special guest at that show.
Sweet.
So people might remember, and he was a great guy. We sat and talked politics.
Now, what is this?
Sergeant Slaughter.
So I had a buddy of mine kind of laugh. He's just like, looks like they're about ready to face off here. I'm like, well, this is the former champion. That's Sergeant Slaughter, G.I. Joe and all that. And he stopped, that's the old Press Register on Water Street. And he stopped in. This was before WrestleMania 30. They're doing a promotional swing. He came in and I interviewed him.
That's him in character, really in character.
All right, yeah, there he is, and John Sharp's still looking at him.
So, was he a heel?
He was briefly, yeah.
Isn't that weird?
It was a controversy because he was, yeah.
Okay.
Now, who's this guy?
That's the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart.
Jimmy Hart.
Yeah.
Okay.
He stopped on in too, and we interviewed him. He talked about Sputnik Monroe, who I wrote about. And because I wrote about him, I'm convinced that he got into the WWE Hall of Fame. That was a neat story.
Oh, good. Yeah. Very good for you to do that. By the way, the phone lines are going to be opening up here in about, we're hoping to open them up here in about 5 minutes or so. That is the telephone number for the phones. Please, we're opening the phone lines now. So if you have a question for John Sharp, maybe you can think of a question that will give us another 20-minute answer. Give us a call. You see it there, 290-2855, 290-2855. The phone line for John Sharp of Alabama Media Group. Now, we want to use you as a gateway guest. Can you funnel wrestling guests to this show?
Well, yeah, I might be able to. They would love to come on the show. They love to promote their shows. There's a few groups out there that do put on shows in Theodore. There's one July 2nd at the American Legion.
All right, we'll get into that. Now, also, after the phone call, Sock Cop is our musical guest. Music from Sock Cop. Scotty White approves.
Yes, please.
Musical guest is presented by Callahan's Cold Beer, Hot Meat, Tasty Tunes in Oakley. Now, tomorrow night, it's Los Colones.
Woo, yeah!
That's tomorrow night. And then Sunday, Molly Thomas and the Rare Birds. Approved by Scotty White.
Yes, please.
And also, musical guest brought to you by PICKER'S Paradise in Stapleton, Alabama.
Yes, please.
Now, there are some stories I read all these things you write, and I keep thinking, why doesn't John Sharp write about what I want to know? Why isn't he investigating the stories I want investigated? So we put together a list for you, John Sharp. What?
I got one that I did write. I thought about you when I wrote it, and I just recently won an award, by the way. You and I go back, I know.
All right. Well, stories I want John Sharp to investigate and report, they include what's the name, address, and telephone number of the skunk who designed the Wallace Tunnels? Who is he and where does he live? And can he be prosecuted? Also, with all the tax dollars being invested in downtown Mobile, why can't I find a dadgum parking place?
Art walk.
Do over-the-counter prostate supplements really work? Does Governor Kay Ivey prefer Matlock or Murder, She Wrote? What will happen first, New Bayway Bridge or flying cars? Who's in charge of filling the potholes in the city of Mobile, and where are they, John? The daily medication list for each mayoral candidate and city council candidate.
That's good.
It is good. What are they on?
That's a good one.
Will Royal Barbers become Mobile's first medical marijuana dispensary? We want to know, is Bridget going to be dealing the gelatinous cubes? What does Alan Seals really like, John Sharp?
I've interviewed him a couple times. Nice guy. Yeah.
Why do vegans shape their vegetable and plant-based meat substitutes into burger form?
Makes no sense.
Why do they do that? John Sharp's best fried local chicken tender, taste off and rundown. Do that, John Sharp. All these stories that have all these numbers and words in there. Has Mayor Stimson ever eaten fried chicken or tenders with his hands? Or does he always use proper cutlery? We want to know.
Probably use proper culture.
He's a little stuffy.
Yeah.
A 5-part tell-all expose on the life and times of the legendary Don Moore. We'd like that. What mental illness drives sickos to prank call radio and internet shows?
You've been trying to figure that for a long time, haven't you?
And can they be prosecuted? All right, now, John Sharp, what is this?
That's a family portrait of the Sharps.
That's you?
That's it.
Yes, sir. That is King Triton himself.
That's amazing.
Look at the smile on the little girl's face. That's all you have to say.
That is a very cute little girl.
She won't be troubled at all. No. She won't be troubled at all as an adult, will she? Here's a picture that I'm in with you.
That goes back. That was a moment. That was
Trump
2015.
Rally.
President Trump visiting Ladd Stadium.
I think one thing that a lot of people forget about, there was supposed to be a press conference after the
I forgot about that.
and I was sitting down there. We were all waiting, and he never did show up. But yeah, that was lots been written and talked about that rally, and it will be for a long time.
He was also supposed to pay people, and he didn't do that either.
And to show my balances, I've been to that rally, and I was at the announcement of Barack Obama when he announced he was going to run for president in Springfield, Illinois in 2000.
Oh, you were there.
So two huge rallies. Probably the only local reporter at both that rally and this rally. I mean, most other than the national reporters. But yeah, that was, and it was sub-zero. My pen didn't work. I couldn't write and take any notes. But yeah, I was
And
there.
this one was hot.
Hot
Yeah.
in August. Yeah.
And that's Matt McCoy, right?
Yeah, that's Matt McCoy.
Okay.
And the guy on the far left is one of the iHeart layoffs.
That's not funny.
It's not funny. It's true. iHeart laid him off, so I can't say his name. It's prevented by my employment contract.
Dang.
All right, and this is you with?
Phil Mickelson.
Vince Gill, I believe.
Vince Gill, yes.
Yeah, he was in town for some sort of event. It's been a while ago. I still have braces on my teeth there. So
You look like you're happy, though, to be with him. Were you a fan?
I mean,
He's a hell
good
of a
music,
guitar player.
but yeah.
See, he's not allowed to be a fan or not. He doesn't put his opinion in his stories. All right, we would love to go to the telephones here for John Sharp. Do we have any callers for John Sharp of Alabama Media Group, also AL.com, also the Mobile Press Register? Hello, caller.
Hey, Mr. John Sharp, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
All right, man. This is a snake trapper here, man. Listen, I got a question for you.
All right, Snake.
Have you ever had the pleasure to meet Mr. Jake the Snake Roberts?
I have not. No. I'd like to though. Interesting character.
Oh, yeah, he's very interesting, man. And I hear tell that he eat one of them snakes, man. I'm just wondering if you have any insight on that.
No, they just had him on A&E talking about how he's scared to death of snakes. So I don't know if he's eaten them, but perhaps he did once.
Yeah, I heard tell that he did eat them. I just didn't know if you had had the pleasure to meet him or maybe have talked to him about it, Mr. Sharp. Well, listen, man, I'm enjoying your show, buddy. You're doing a great job.
All right, partner. Thank you.
Thank you, Snake Trapper, for the contact. Have you ever written a story about snakes?
Good question. I don't think so. I've written about alligators, plenty of those.
Yeah, why haven't you, though? You're in South Alabama.
I'm trying to
You
think.
want to trigger people, that'll trigger people.
Yeah, that would. We actually had a snake incident in our neighborhood a couple years ago, but I shouldn't say where I live because then we'd probably never be able to sell our house again. So,
But what was the incident? You said you had a snake incident.
well,
What was it?
some residents that live in our neighborhood apparently called one of the TV stations about a couple of large snakes slithering up the side of their house.
Yeah?
And one of the TV stations went out and covered it. And I thought, this is too close to home. I'm not going to cover this. So
Okay.
it wasn't really, I was probably busy doing something else anyways. So, but at any rate, that was the closest snake incident I guess I would have written about.
So if anybody wants to get away with something, do it in his neighborhood. And he won't write about it.
If it gets close to home, yeah, I'll step away.
Do we have any other callers for John Sharp of Alabama Media Group? Hello, caller. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, you're on with John Sharp.
Uncle Henry, this is Lady Wellborn.
Oh, Lady Wellborn.
One thing you may not know about me is I'm a huge wrestling fan, like Mr. John Sharp.
Wait, I'm sorry, we're having some trouble hearing you, Lady Wellborn.
I said one thing
Yes?
you may not know about me is I'm also a huge wrestling fan, like Mr. John Sharp.
I would never have guessed that about you.
I've even been to Wrestlemania.
Wow.
My wife is very,
Which one?
She's very Renaissance.
Oh, okay.
It was probably in 2004 in Houston.
Oh, was
I
that
don't remember the number.
was that Austin and The Rock? You remember?
Yes, and so that's my question.
Yeah, that's one
Have
of the
you
best.
ever met either of them?
I have not, no, but I was part of an interview once with Austin, with Stone Cold. They did a telephone interview, and I was on the line and asked a question. So
My wife has a fascination with Stone Cold Austin. So.
he's got some good TV shows on right now. So yeah, but that, by the way, has gone down as like one of the best ones ever. I mean, from top to bottom, that show, people still rave about it. So
Yes.
It was one of my highlights of my life.
My goodness.
very nice.
Wow. The highlights of your life include WrestleMania, Fizzy Fest, and marrying Johnny Gwynn.
In that order.
In that
I told you I'd bring some news to this show.
Is there anything else, Lady Wellborn, that you would like to tell us or ask John Sharp?
That's it for Secrets today. Thank you, John. Thank you, Uncle Henry. Love the show.
Thank you very much, Lady Wellborn. Do we have any other calls for John Sharp of Alabama Media Group? Hello, caller.
Hey, Uncle Henry, this is Drew. Hey, Uncle Henry, this is Drew Peacock.
Hey, Drew Peacock.
Hey, you asked about the Wallace Tunnel earlier and the designers, and I thought I'd give you a little history on it.
Well, make it really little.
All right. Well, it was built in 1969 by the Alabama Dry Dock and Shipyard Company.
and the designers of it took one measurement to make sure that both tunnels would be usable for the foreseeable future. That one measurement was your big fat mama's waistline.
Would you hang up on this person? This person named Peacock. You freak! Now why can't you find out who these people are and write about them? They got mental illness. There's a mental illness crisis in the country. How many times have you written about it?
Your callers have really changed since the last time I was on your show.
You're right. Our society's going down the toilet. All right, do we have any other callers for John Sharp and not for me? Do we have any other callers?
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Hi. Tonight's show is awesome. John Sharp, you're awesome.
Thank you.
Do you have a question or a comment for John Sharp?
Yeah, I want to say I was actually there for the wrestling at the Golden Corral.
Well, how did it go?
How did it
I was
go?
there. Hi. It was amazing. It was a loser leaves a buffet match between everybody in the restaurant and Henry's fat mother.
Hang up on this guy! You freak! You sick freak! How dare you attack my mother? You know, she's still alive. And they let her watch sometimes.
Is this where I tell you that I won the Alabama Media Awards? I got first place in business reporting recently for writing about Southern buffets and how they've been shut down during the coronavirus. I thought you might remember that story. You would like that story. That's the type of story you kind of like.
And you know what?
Yeah.
I would probably have remembered that and loved it if we didn't have psychopaths calling the show sociopathic scum. Calling this show attacking my mother. I might have remembered it if it weren't for them and also your incredibly long answer earlier. All right, do we have any other callers, legitimate callers for John Sharp? Yes. All right, let's go back to the phones. Hello, caller. Hello.
Yes, I've got a question for John Sharp.
Good, thank you.
There have been some great wrestling nicknames, like Andre the Giant, Stone Cold. Now, I would like, as a professional journalist, I want to give you 30 seconds to come up with a wrestling name for Uncle Henry.
Oh, that's good.
On the spot.
Uncle Henry's good enough, I think, isn't it? Or
Grouchy.
I was going to say Mr. Perfect, Uncle Henry.
Hang up on this guy. Hang up on the guy. Why not?
Because I want to hear what does the caller have a name for you? Caller, you got a name for
All right, caller, do you have a name?
No, dang it.
I like Joe.
That was a good question.
Joe Shannabrook.
Call back.
No, don't call back. Hang up on him if he calls back.
King Kong or...
All right, would you stop? He was trying to cause a problem with me. It was all about making me uncomfortable, John Sharp.
I understand.
All right. Do we have any legitimate callers? Do we have a call? Johnny Gwynn, do we need to get ready for sock cop yet? Or?
We're getting there. We're fine.
All right.
Hello.
Hello, you're on with John Sharp.
John, was you aware that Mr. Henry has a fetish about, he likes to watch the wrestlers because he likes them big fellers in the speed.
Would you hang up on this guy? Hang up on that guy. This is one of the worst runs of callers we've ever had.
But we have calls, unlike some shows, so I say take them.
Do we have any other callers? All right, let's take a call.
I got them triggered.
Hey, and by the way, if there's a person that has finished like middle school, give us a call.
What is your...
Hello?
I'm asking for John Sharp. What is your favorite wrestler?
Who is this?
Jay Sharp.
Ah!
Who is this?
This is a caller from where are you calling from, caller?
Staunton.
Staunton, Illinois.
Illinois.
That's
is
where
this?
I grew up. That's my nephew.
Oh, okay.
So what is the question again, young caller?
What is your favorite wrestler?
Oh, well, that's
Who is your favorite wrestler?
Ric Flair. Best of ever. Yeah. You got future journalist, by the way.
How old are you, kid?
11.
11. And this is your...
Jace, we love you, buddy.
All right, now tell us something embarrassing about John Sharp.
Oh, no. Be good, kid.
Started balding in high school.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Good.
Bye.
Hang up on that
Jace.
kid.
Yeah.
All right, good. All right, we're still looking for somebody that's graduated middle school. Call, please. Hello, caller.
Hello, how y'all doing?
We're getting there. Do you have a question for John Sharp?
Yeah, it's about that diverting the traffic of I-10 up I-65 to I-165, so that a lot of the truckers and the other busy traffic on weekends take the cost. What do you think?
Talk about my stories and I-10 bridge and all that.
He
We're
asked
talking
you
about
what you.
wrestling
He's
more.
got an idea of
Yeah.
diverting all the truckers over to to 165 instead of going through the Wallace tunnels. He wants them to go over the Cochran Africtown Bridge.
I think that's not happening. That's kind of it's a sticky subject right now. Stay tuned.
Well, you think about all the crashes and wrecks and everything that's going on in the tunnel. Why not eliminate having the big trucks go through there and divert all of them over the Cochran Bridge, which we paid $1 million for, and they already built it.
All right, sir. I wish you would have called me on my show this afternoon instead of tonight. But thank you for your call. Hang up on the old guy.
All right.
All right, good. All right, do we have any other callers? All right, then we're done. We're done. By the way, the call-in segment of the show brought to you by the Container Yard. Downtown office space and co-working starting at $3.99 a day. This is where creativity and commerce meets. The ContainerYardWorks.com. Go to ContainerYardWorks.com to find out more. It's been such a pleasure, John Sharp, talking to you.
Yeah, it's good to see you again. And a couple quick things. Congratulations again to AL.com for winning the Pulitzer Prize today. My colleague Challenge Stevens.
It's too bad the Pulitzer has been urinated on in previous years.
And then,
too bad it doesn't mean anything anymore.
I got you, but that's
congratulations.
Still a big award. So yeah, that colleague of mine won it, and they're happy tonight. So yeah.
Very good. Anything else you want to mention before you're thrust off
July
the program?
2nd, American Legion, Alabama Wrestling Federation's hosting a show. They got a Facebook page. Check it out there. J.C. Stokes, good guy, he runs that promotion, and perhaps you can get a couple of those wrestlers on your show.
Who do you think I should have? Who'd be good on this show?
Well, James would be good. I'm trying to think who else would be.
We want a wrestler. Who would be a good wrestler to get on here?
Mountain Man.
Okay.
Yeah. Although I don't know if he's wrestling anymore. I've lost touch with him, but he's a local guy that I think be a good one to talk to. So yeah.
Okay.
But there's others out there. But I could hook you up with the right person to ask. So.
All right, very good. All right, well, John Sharp. Yes, Johnny Gwynn? Oh, we have parting gifts. We have for you a pack of candy cigarettes.
I'll give them to the 11-year-old who called in earlier.
And we also have, or these are also parting gifts?
All parting gifts.
We have some Goofy Putty for you.
My daughter will. No, my wife's shaking her head no.
Skittles Freezer Pops.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that'll work.
Break the alcohol.
Oh, and 9.
And
Steak knives.
Steak knife set.
Okay. Thank you.
Wonderful.
He's overwhelmed. He's overwhelmed.
No, this is wonderful. Thank you.
Now, when the people from New Zealand sent you a check, you tore it up. Don't throw those things away.
Or open them.
Don't throw them away. Please. We give these out of the goodness of Johnny's heart.
Well, the 6-year-old will not have these, but she'll love these. So yes.
All right, very good.
And she won't. The 11-year-old that called in earlier, this is his.
Oh, all right, well, good. All right, well, John Sharp.
Yes, Uncle.
It was great to see you again.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would love to have you on my radio show.
Let's not be
again.
strangers. Yeah, let's talk.
Let's do some stuff on the radio as well.
Yep. Excellent. I appreciate it.
John Sharp, you may leave the set. All right, now we're doing something we haven't had to do before. Because Sock Cop requires a special set, we're going to have a very brief intermission while we put the set together. Is that the case, Johnny Gwynn? All right, so a very short break. Friday night with Uncle Henry, something very unusual. Our musical guest is Sock Cop.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness gracious. Thank you so much for asking me to be here. It's my apologies to every other musician in the Mobile area for not being available.
Now, Sock Cop, we want to predict, first of all, the songs that you might be presenting to us tonight. Ooh. Because you're a Sock Cop. Mm-hmm. So if we can get the graphic on the screen, we have our song predictions for Sock Cop. Let's see, we thought maybe you would perform Jailhouse Sock.
Oh, that's a good one. Love that song.
We thought you might perform Sock You Like a Hurricane.
Too soon.
Sock of Ages.
Ooh.
by the Awful Def Leppard. I Just Want to Sock and Roll All Night.
Yeah, you and me both. You and me both.
Sock and Hole Hoochie Coo.
I don't know about that one. That's a little rated R.
Sock the Casbah. Keep on socking in the free world.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Neil Young acknowledging our freedom with socks. So, Sock Cop. Oh, by the way, this is presented by Callahan's. Cold beer, hot meat, tasty tunes. See them in Oakley. Tomorrow night, it's Los Colones. And then the next night, Sunday, Molly Thomas and the Rare Birds.
Yes,
approved
please.
by Scotty White. All right, so Sock Cop, what are you going to be performing? How's this going to work?
Well, here's how I work. Like most musicians, they have they got their greatest hits and things like that. They go out there and play. They got famous songs and things. I don't work that way, Uncle Henry. I don't work
If we
that
could
way.
show Sock Cop now.
I just sort of make it up as I go along. See,
Okay, there is.
My method for creating music, my art, if you will, is sort of feeling the vibe of what's going on in the universe, man, and I just sort of let it speak through me. So I got my bongos.
This is kind of improvisational.
Yeah, it's 100% improvisation. I have no idea what I'm going to do.
All right, so would this
My
be called a
apologies.
jams, Johnny
Yeah.
Gwynn?
Yes, he is very much in the form of a beat poet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So how many of these are you going to do one?
Let's just go with it.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess I'll just go ahead and introduce you. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sock Cop.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so happy to be here. My apologies to Callahan's for wasting their money. But I'm very happy to be here. It's been a fantastic show. And what I'm going to do for you now is perform a little bit of improv beat poetry. And what I do, if you'll allow me just a second here, I need to feel the soul of the room. I need to feel the vibe of what's going on. So everybody think happy thoughts here. Everybody think happy thoughts. I'm going to absorb this, and then I'm going to start playing on the old bongos right here. And then we're just going to see what happens. Just see what happens. Open up your minds and lower your expectations. Those are the two rules. Open your minds and lower your expectations. All right, here we go. Ooh, Oh, yeah. Oh, I can feel it. I can feel those happy thoughts. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, you're doing a fantastic job. Doing a fantastic job. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Feel that spirit flowing through you, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my goodness gracious. Big props to our good pal, John Sharp.
Oh, yeah.
Sharp. That man likes wrestling. I, too, like wrestling. One time I went to Wrestlemania and I saw those guys, and they was there, and they went a boom, a boom, a boom, a boom, and there was a pile driver, oh whammos, and there was a clothesline, oh whammos, and the one fella, he jumped off of the top rope, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, boom, 1, 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, it was over with. He was the winner. He won himself a fancy belt that would never fit into any pants that you will ever find in a Walmart or a Target. No matter how rich you are not going to find any pants that will fit that belt. It's just not going to happen. Play that trombone, shorty. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's what I'm talking about right there. Yes, indeed. And at this point, I would like to introduce to you my good friend, the Rusty Kazoo. I've got a Rusty Kazoo. It tastes like pennies, but it sounds like angels singing. It sounds like angels singing. If you'll just open up your ears and listen for a second, you'll get to hear them. Be very quiet, everybody. Be very quiet. And you'll hear the angels singing, and they sound like... Yes, indeed. Oh, thank you so much, Rusty Kazoo. Rusty Kazoo, ladies and gentlemen. Rusty Kazoo. And now I've got one more friend I would like to introduce you to before we go. It's a good pal of mine. This is a very old friend, and he's an old friend because he's very easygoing. Very easygoing. This is my old friend, the harmonica. The harmonica has only 2 modes, man. And those 2 modes are out and in. Out and in. Very easy. Would you hand me the mouth organ, please? Would you please hand me the mouth organ? We rehearsed this. Oh, my goodness. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. All right, thank you very much. All right, now we got the mouth organ here. Now let me tap into the special harmonica frequency of the universe. It's Friday, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I'm just tuning to the right station. Tuning to the right station. All right, here we go. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. My name is Sarkop. Feel free to check out my mixtape. It's on the internet. Check it out. Donate your things to old Deep Fried Studios. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. All right, goodbye now.
Wow. Thank you, Sarkop. Certainly the most unusual performance in the history of the program, and probably, I'm going to say, the history of Art Walk. This was the artsiest thing at Art Walk. The people out there have no clue. All right, we want to thank again Callahan's for presenting Sarkop. Thank you, Callahan's. Again, tomorrow night, Los Colones. And Sunday, Molly Thomas and the Rarebirds.
Yes, please.
Also, thanks to Pickers Paradise for supporting Sock Cop. Incredible job, Sock Cop. Look for Sock Cop on Facebook. He's now on Facebook and entertaining people on Facebook himself. Want to thank, of course...
Wrong person.
We don't know why that's up there. Want to thank Sock Cop and John Sharp.
Yes.
Again, want to mention that if you want to keep these shows coming, please donate. Go to PayPal and look for Deep Fried Live on PayPal, or go to Venmo and look for Deep Fried Live on Venmo. Donate there. That keeps the show going. We'd like to keep doing these shows.
Yes. Woo!
Now, real quick, a word about next week. If you're an old-time radio fan, like Ron Reams is, next week our guest is Michael Stewart, who was known in Mobile radio for years as Marathon Mike.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking a lot of old-time radio next week on the program. Thanks again to everyone who donated to the program. Thanks to everyone that watched. If you liked what you just saw, please share the show. Also, thanks to John Sharp of Alabama Media Group. Thank you, John Sharp, for coming in. Also, big thanks to Dan and Dan, the sound man, Joe Shanabrook. And, of course, Johnny Gwynn, who put it all together, and it was Johnny Gwynn's idea to get the musical performance. Thank you, Johnny Gwynn, for that. That was incredible. All right, thanks for the people that showed up. Thank you for being here live tonight. Let's end it. We're done. Goodbye.